Hello, gorgeous souls. Thank you so much for being here today, deciding to connect and share space here on my channel. And before we get started, thank you so much to the new subscribers. I woke up to that surprise the other day. I had quite a few new subscribers, and it jumped a little bit more than I ever expected it to. Normally, it's been happening kind of one by one. And this was, like I said, a pretty big leap. So it felt great. I almost looked at it like, just in awe. And I just have to say, I have to thank, Abraham and Esther for that. The manifestations are coming in. If you're not familiar with who I'm referring to, I suggest you look them up. But yeah, it's just magical how the universe responds to your vibration. And I have such sincere intention doing this work and having this channel. And it's just such a strong inherent desire within me to get that out to as many people as possible. And it's been slow going, but I'm starting to really see things pick up. And every bit of growth I've had and witnessed is incredible, but especially when you kind of get those, those little nods that things are really starting to pick up in the momentum. It really is just, like I said, magical, means a lot. So I'm just so pleased and honored every time anyone either chooses to stop by for the first time or chooses to return and again share space and connect, because your time is valuable, and I understand that. And I watch videos myself, and so I know that I only visit channels that really resonate with me and that I really enjoy the reader and their style and all of those great things. And so if you have decided to be here or return here even, just know that it means a lot to me. And this little humble channel that is just growing and beginning and newborn still, it's a really good energy I think I'm fostering here, and I'm so glad that you've chosen it as a place and a space for you to gain your insight and your clarity from source. So with that said, this is a little bit of a fun reading today. It's not going to be a long one, but wanted to bring to you something just a little bit different than what I've done before. We're going to be looking at what's on their mind today. So what are their thoughts of you currently, surrounding either yourself or the connection between you, what's going on between you, any other circumstances that may want to come out. We're just going to get a look at their thoughts. I've never done an actual thoughts reading. I've done feelings where I've brought thoughts kind of into the mix. If they've come through, I've also done intentions, and these are all sort of similar, components, I guess you would say, to the mind and to where someone is at energetically, but we've never actually just focused on this person's kind of like current thoughts and mental energy towards you and the connection. So that's what we'll do today. So pile 1 for you guys, you will be choosing the Journey of the Sacred Bee Tarot, and that'll be with this blue fluorite. For pile 2, we have the Wandering Star Tarot. That's going to be with the Chrysocolla. Let's get that to focus. Beautiful. She's beautiful. Love that piece. And pile 3 is the Lonely Ice Tarot with this aura-coated quartz point. Go ahead and take a moment to reflect over each of the piles. It's actually interesting to note there's a lot of like geometry going on in these piles today, and I didn't pick them for that reason, but a lot of shapes, linear patterning, in some cases triangles and stars or points. So just that's interesting. I felt, like I said, really guided to choose these piles today. So maybe there's some element of that that's significant, remains to be seen. But at any rate, again, go ahead and select whichever pile deck is drawing you in most or crystal is calling to you most, and I'll meet you over at your reading in a moment. Let's begin. Hey, pile 1. You guys chose this beautiful piece of blue fluorite. I had purple fluorite, but I didn't have any blue until recently, and now I do. So really excited to use that. Thought that looked really good with the aqua and kind of green tones of this deck. This is the Journey of the Sacred Bee Tarot that we'll be using for your reading today. We're going to mostly deal with the tarot, but we'll also get some oracle cards as well. We're taking a look at what is on your person's mind? What are their thoughts of you currently? What is going on in that mind of theirs, their head space, and whatever it is that you're needing to know most about what their mental energy is towards this connection. I often look at feelings and emotional energy, but this is the first we're going to be looking at, or focusing, I should say, on the mental body of your person and what their thoughts and sort of their cerebral energy is towards this connection and towards you as well. So before we begin, I always like to say, set your intention that you are open, willing, and ready to receive the messages from Source as they are intended. You want to be in that best energy possible to receive those messages. If not, it's not really going to reach you, or it's not going to resonate and have an impact in the way that it needs to. But, I trust that if you've made your way to this video, you're here and you're ready to receive and take those insights. So just set that intention, though. It's called segment intending. And if you go ahead and before you start any part of your day, you just set a little moment aside to sort of make clear to the universe and for your own energy as well, how you want that particular segment or period of your day to go. In this case, this reading. Then watch and see how things transform, how things start to really go the way that you set them to, because of course our reality is based upon our own perception, our own thoughts and beliefs, and we set the tone, we create that energy. So long story short, set your intentions, people, make it clear, and get yourself ready to receive these insights. Whatever comes through from Spirit, of course, we have no control. That's the fun part too. Also select a sign if that calls to you to do so. That's just a wonderful way to play with the universe, receive those validations, that affirming kind of anchoring of messages that comes through, that you can really take it in as true because you've received the specific symbology that you've asked for Spirit to use to communicate with you directly. And they love to. They love to get messages to you. They're supporting you and communicating with you all day, every day. Obviously at a vibrational, energetic level, but when you set the tone for that communication, by making it very clear how you want those messages to come through with what symbol, then it's just an easy, direct way, which is Spirit's preference, in order to be able to get those messages to you in a way that will kind of draw your attention and again allow them to resonate and really confirm your own intuition in some cases, but validate you and trust in Source energy, that they're here, they have your back, and that they are always looking out for you. And if you need a sign in order to help you along your path, which most people do, they will gladly and clearly give that to you if you ask for it. So make sure you do that too. I don't suggest bees because there's so many bees in here, but any other animal or a place, a name, a number, a specific tarot card, anything at all. We're ready to go. Pile 1. Let's take a look at your person's thoughts. What's going on for them? Okay. We've got a couple, but I'm only going to take a few. So these seem relevant. Those 2 is what I'm hearing, and these I'm going to put back. So we have the 2 of Swords, which is known as Peace in this deck, and the Hanged Man, which is the number 12. There we go. What is in this person's head for pile 1? Pile 1's person. What are they thinking about pile 1? What is in their head? The Star and the Magician. We have the 3 of Swords, the beautiful 3 of Swords actually in this deck. We have the 10 of Wands, Oppression, Justice, and the 6 of Cups, Pleasure. Underlying energy of this reading is the 5 of Cups, Disappointment. This person is all up in their head, as I'm seeing. I actually think they've been taking a lot of time for reflection. We have the Hanged Man here, of course, which is an energy of sort of self-surrender, leaning into that energy of solitude. It's very similar to Hermit energy for me. It's about that sort of suspendedness. So it's not stagnation, because there's a lot going on spiritually speaking. And look in this card, even there's the bee with sort of looks like that eye, that little circular area there, which for me is just about enlightenment. It's the color blue, which is the color of truth. It could be a sign of the mental body, clarification, or clarity, I should say, awareness, mental acuity. It again references that there's a lot going on. This person isn't just sort of burying their head in the sand. While they may not be taking action, being reserved, or having a period of, again, inaction, there's a lot happening mentally speaking, but they're struggling with whatever that may be. The Ten of Wands, oppression, this is just feeling burdened. There's a lot of heaviness to this person's thoughts right now, and we can even see that reflected in this Two of Swords, which is called peace in this deck. It actually, for me, that's a very inept descriptor for the Two of Swords energy. The swords represent indecision in this case. It's often a card of not wanting to make a decision, or being unclear, confused, calling it peace, and then also having this woman, this statuesque sort of individual image with somebody who looks very bereaved and not very peaceful at all. You know, kind of reinforces for me the meaning in this Three of Swords energy of sorrow here, of course, heartbreak or sadness, loss, which is echoed in the Five of Cups as well, the overall energy being disappointment. So again, that sense of grief and loss and pain, emotional pain. This is heavy on their mind. So I think that all of this is sort of a tie-in together. Your person's thinking about this a lot. There's a lot of weight on them emotionally, and they sort of ruminate about this. Again, I do think that there's still a lot of really good stuff going on, you know, with the Hanged Man energy, but at the same time, it's definitely of a heavier nature, sort of them working through, and I think to a point resolving some of what they've been dealing with and grappling with, and feeling a struggle towards reconciling, at least in their mind. We have this Star, though, a beautiful energy of optimism. So this person's thoughts have turned from something that's a little bit more, you know, I guess, well, very, very heavy, very weighted and sad, into an energy of, again, optimism. And in the last row, we can see actual empowerment with the Magician energy here. But the Star with the Justice card, the Justice being the sign of, you know, balance, honesty here, truth, just, it feels like things are coming back into alignment. They're feeling more clear with their truth. They're feeling more empowered and optimistic about this. Their thoughts are aligning more with the reality of the situation, and they're feeling a little bit of hopefulness with that. The Magician energy is one of powerfulness, skillfulness, the ability to create. I referenced how there was so much, look at the back of these cards. There's so much like geometry and imagery and like shapes going on in these cards, and I don't get into sacred geometry, so I don't understand that necessarily. However, when I see all of this here, all of these points, and these patterns between her hands, you've got the infinity symbol, of course, at the top. It just makes me think of the idea of like creation and making something, creating something, building something, manifesting something, having all of this ability, this power to achieve. And what it looks like they're hoping for and thinking and working towards is pleasure, or the Six of Cups, which for me is that energy of sweetness and of reconciliation, of just returning to a more innocent time where things weren't so burdensome. We have the Three of Swords on this end, which is the heaviest you could get. I mean, that's pain, that's loss, it's grief, it's sadness, it's heartbreak. And then here we have joy and sweetness and pleasure as indicated in the card, and just a beautiful, beautiful energy, again, referencing and speaking to how your person has sort of shifted and progressed in their thoughts from, heavier, more just challenged energy into something a little bit lighter. Again, that energy of the Five of Cups, which is being grief-stricken, being disappointed, feeling guilty or regretful, It's still there. So let's see what that's actually referring to. But overall, I think your person is turning a corner on some things, gaining clarity, feeling a little bit better, seeing things more clearly, and feeling and believing and seeing, very importantly, that things are possible, that they can be achieved, and they have to just, take that inspired action to work towards it, but it can happen. So the 5 of Cups is clarified by strength, number 8, which is a beautiful, again, the infinity symbol comes out here. That's obviously relevant to your connection in some capacity, but this is referencing for me the idea that your person is gaining, again, some element of resiliency over their pain. But what they also are feeling deeply saddened about is, I feel, when the strength card comes out, is what's causing sadness. It's needing to be restricted or held back, held in, needing to be strong, perhaps even in exterior, not coming forward, not expressing themselves. So it as to what, when we're talking in a negative context, what strength represents, and strength is normally a very positive card, but if in this context, how it's coming through to me is just resistance, essentially. When this person is not able to live and act and carry themselves as their true authentic self with you, there's been some sort of obviously disconnect with the 3 of Swords energy, and it's made them feel very, lost, very, again, bereaved about this. And they're having to hold themselves back and stay strong instead of just acting, it feels like, on impulse of what they want to do. Their thoughts are again shifting into a more positive place. So I do think this may lead into action. We'll take a brief look at that at the end. But, certainly it's definitely looking up from where it was previously. And I think that that's going to eventually reflect in something that you may see from this person. So we have the root of the powers of earth. It's just the Ace of Pentacles. They say a fancy name here. I'm asking what else we're needing to know about this. The Page of Wands. This person wants a new beginning with you. Pile 1, the World. There's a big ending, a big cycle that's closing out for each of you, it feels like. There's decisions to be made, especially for this person. Remember how in the beginning here, this individual was sitting in that 2 of Swords, peace energy. Again, there's nothing peaceful about it. That bugs me every time I see it. Bugs, funny. I crack myself up. Good, because I'm alone and I don't have anyone else to entertain me. But with that said, this person was sitting in an element of indecision or confusion about things. And here we have the 2 of Wands, which is a much more sort of direct energy of someone who's actually at least willing to consider and entertain the thought of choice. And it's coming up, of course, over that Magician. So as their thoughts have shifted and changed, they're feeling more empowered and more ready to actually perhaps take action, at least make that decision and have those initial steps towards whatever action that may be that they're considering. It's beautiful. This is really encouraging. So if you've been feeling really lost or feeling at a loss with this person, that they're really, if they've been stuck for quite a bit, their mental energy is really looking up, Pile 1. What are they specifically thinking about the connection with Pile 1? So we have the 7 of Pentacles, patience. 5 of Pentacles, worry. They're specifically worried about timing, is what I'm getting. We have the Devil. And we have the 4 of Swords, recovery. So again, there was definitely some element of dysfunction or negative energy surrounding this connection, which they're still in a period of recovery from. So how they're feeling or thinking rather towards the connection, I think thoughts and feelings could be interchangeable at times, but what they're feeling guided to do, even in their headspace, what seems logical and most necessary is to take a step back, to rest and recover and sort of resolve any of that negativity before they would think about coming back forward towards you. 7 of Pentacles, patience. They realize that this is taking time. It's already probably taken a significant amount of time, and they're worried, literally, with the 5 of Pentacles here. They've shut you out, or they feel shut out. There's definitely disconnect indicated in multiple points of these energies of these cards today for you. But they're definitely concerned about the length of time that it's taking and the state of disconnect. They're thinking it's been too long. They're worried you're going to move on. This person's really hang on a moment. This person, in some cases, for some of you, this person already thinks you have moved on. I don't know if that reference is actually another person, like that you've met someone else, but it definitely is them thinking that you have moved on from them. Yeah, the Knight of Cups. They think you have other offers, other individuals that you may be entertaining their energies instead. You've shifted your focus away. This is what they're thinking. I don't know if they have any, any clarity or actual, awareness of that being the case. Perhaps if they're able to see you on social media still, they may have gotten that notion, that indication somehow. But I think for a lot of you, it's just a fear. So we have the Devil with Alchemy, which is Temperance in this deck. Again, the idea of needing to balance and sort of resolve this negative energy that they're feeling. They were in a very, very bad space, headspace, I'm hearing specifically. But again, that's clearing out now. And they're getting some of their joy back, some of their passion back. The sunflower to me reminds me of the sun. It's a very sun-like image, happiness, joy, warmth and vitality. So I think they're sort of, maybe with the warm weather, if you live in the Northern Hemisphere, we're entering summer, perhaps with the change of seasons or change of circumstances in their own life, if anything has happened that's sort of changed in their personal world. That could definitely be impacting these shifts in energy as well. But we have the Three of Pentacles effort here with the Seven of Pentacles, that waiting energy, that energy of patience and of investment, and the energy that was concerning this element of too much time, the timing being off, or worried about the timing, the amount of time it's going to take. They know that they have to put in the effort if they're going to win you back, if there's going to be a resurgence of this connection, if anything is ever going to change, they have to approach it differently. And I think that's part of what makes them wait and hold back, is because right now they're not sure how to do that. However, that's sort of what this rest and recovery card with the Four of Swords energy is coming through for me to say with this Princess or Page of Discs, which is Pentacles. This Page of Pentacles is also coming through to sort of reinforce that idea of, again, wanting to put in that effort, wanting to present forth an offer that's sustainable and real and substantial. But they're needing to take time and space away to reflect and to really see if that's possible for them, and then if so, how they can go about achieving it. What else do we need to know? We have the Queen of Pentacles. We have Ten of Swords, Ruin. We have Four of Wands, Perfected Work. And we have the Eight of Swords, Interference. So this is a very clear message. There's a third party. There's a karmic for this pile. If you don't have any awareness of that, then this may not be the best reading for you, and you may want to visit one of the other piles. I feel like you would know about this if this was the case, because the Queen of Pentacles energy is actually like a spouse, not just like a girlfriend or another party to the situation. That's actually usually a very committed energy. And we also have the Four of Wands, which is traditionally a card of harmony and of the family, of stability, firm foundations. The Eight of Swords, Interference, that's quite clear. So again, there's something preventing this person from being able to come forward to you. Again, that's needing them to take a step back, regroup, figure out how to overcome and combat that interfering energy. And then we have the Ten of Swords, Ruin. There's double messages coming through for that specifically. One being that your situation was ruined as a result of a third party, but also that this situation that they're involved in needs to come to an end, this relationship energy, before they can really be completely clear-minded to come back forward. But let's go ahead. I didn't even pull any of the Oracle. It's been really flowing well today. What action might be coming in the near future, the next few months, for pile one and their person? We have the Page of Swords, the Nine of Swords, Despair, the Seven of Cups, Seduction. Why did I say deception? That's interesting. And the Hermit. So unfortunately, nothing coming forward. Trigger warning being very clear. There isn't anything that's going to be happening in the 3D, I feel, but a lot of spiritual enlightenment continuing. I love seeing the Seven of Cups, because while it's not a very grounded energy, cups are emotions, but they don't translate necessarily into action, as we can see here. It's not. However, what's really great about the Seven of Cups is it's all about fantasy and dreaming and idealism. And at times, creating one's world does begin in the mind. So our thoughts turn into beliefs, and that becomes creation. That becomes what outwardly presents in our physical experience. And so with this person dreaming and fantasizing, they're just really building up a lot of energy towards this manifesting, even though it's not going to be right at this moment or in the next few months necessarily. It definitely does look, as though there's a lot happening energetically, at least within this person. We have the Nine of Swords, which is anxiety, despair. It's indicated as in this deck. What is that about? Ten of Pentacles, wealth. Feels like a lot of focus on the material world, perhaps on a family unit if they have a family, again with that Queen of Pentacles and the Four of Wands energy that presented out earlier. The Ten of Pentacles can relate to that situation, can also relate to work. It literally says wealth. So just being very, very much fixated in the material world. But we have the Princess or Page of Swords with the Two of Cups, love. This could be communication coming in for some of you. I didn't initially see it that way. That actually looked more like distance and coldness. But for some of you, what is this energy? The Four of Pentacles, power. And the Six of Swords, earned success. For some of you with communication, for others of you, this is all in the mind. So for some of you, this will actually translate to the person reaching out, perhaps impulsively. But for others of you, it looks as though it's just going to be staying, again, in that headspace for a while within the mental body of this person, allowing them to gain clarity and alignment, awareness of the situation. But they have this huge obstacle that is a very real, it's coming up with this Nine of Swords energy. It's a very real obstacle for them. It's something very prominent in their life experience right now at this time that's really preventing them from feeling, able to come step forward towards you. So for some of you, depending on the individual circumstances, you may see some sort of connection with this person sort of revamp in the next few months. But for others of you, it's going to be just, again, this fantasizing, this building up of energy. The Hermit here is definitely spiritual awareness and enlightenment, but also silence and distance. The King of Pentacles, continuing to focus again on their material circumstances, their material world, perhaps a family or their responsibilities. It feels that way for the next few months. Of course, energy can always change. Let's just get a few oracle. I really intended to use these throughout the entire reading, but it isn't happening. Upwards and outwards. This person is focused on growth, support. Feels like they're supporting themselves with this Nourish card. They're really focused, on that material abundance, on feeling better. But the good news about that, deepest replenishment, as you restore yourself, as you recalibrate, that Four of Swords energy as well, that recovery energy, as that happens and you get back into alignment, then you can actually feel more empowered to come forward and to make good choices. Abraham always says, get into alignment and then do whatever activity or whatever thing you're considering, whatever aspect or component of your life may need your attention. Get into alignment first and then make that decision, then take that action, then go forward and pursue whatever that happens to be. And I do think that's what your person is doing. It's just taking some time. Let's get a little bit of insight for you. For pile one, is this situation going to resolve itself with their person? Can you share with us in the future what may happen with this person? Their person's thoughts right now are turning more positively. What can they possibly expect from them in the future? So we have, this is beautiful, the bloom. Creations realized, right time, harvest and celebrate. So again, they're just waiting for that perfect timing, but I do think that's going to be something that returns tenfold to you, is this beautiful energy. Look at this, the bud. Potential promise, it's about to happen, and keep going. So we have the bud, then we have the bloom. As I said, summer was going to be an important aspect of timing for you guys, with the better energy of the seasons changing and of this abundant sort of period of time where this person is perhaps focused and getting aligned, getting more balanced in both their thoughts and within their life, their actions. Everything is kind of meshing and lining up for them to take action towards you. It does look like that could be something that changes in the near future. Not, like I said, within the next few months necessarily, but you know, energy is ever changing as well. So either way, you can expect at some point in the future that things will shift. We have protection with the 6 of Hearts, which for me is like the 6 of Cups. Parenthood, the 5 of Hearts. So again, a reference to family. And the Herald of Discovery. So all of the heralds, as would indicate, you know, you think of a lot of journals and publications, newspapers were called herald. So it's always a sign of, this is on the bottom of the deck, beautiful, Queen of Love. The heralds were always messengers. So have to focus on this for a minute. This Queen of Love is like the Queen of Cups. It's such a beautiful energy. This person definitely, they don't want to be away from you. They have other circumstances going on, but they just want you to know, you know, how they still see you, what they still think of you, what their thoughts still surround. Is just this beautiful, loving energy that is you. It hasn't changed at all. But revisiting back to this Herald of Discovery, heralds were always signs of messages or messengers. The jacks in this deck in particular, this is a Cartomancer deck. They all reference page energy. So this says, person who promotes interest in something, explorer, visionary, visitor from abroad, a sign that something new is coming, and a boyfriend. So again, I do think eventually this is what you can look forward to. This person needs to protect themselves and protect their home environment. This is where their focus is right now. This is where their thoughts are centered on. What can they do to keep things stable? Stable and protected and safe and secure. They're not ready for any major upheaval. They feel so much, you know, they see so much potential in this connection, but they're really self-focused right now in a good way. Let me just say, remember, we also had that Hanged Man energy coming out in the beginning of your spread. That's something wonderful to be celebrated, because that person is taking time in their solitude or in their stepping back or stepping away, and they're really focusing on self, but they're gaining that enlightenment and clarity. So that's really, really important. And then just this little herald message to say, like, eventually, again, things will bloom. Wait, boom, I said actually initially. That's funny. The bud and the bloom. So things are going to come into full bloom. There's going to be a flowering of this connection once again in the future. I think that's where things are heading. I think that the energy, mentally speaking, of your person has really shifted and it's getting to a good place. They're just recalibrating, rebalancing. Again, they're trying to realign themselves and get on their track to their highest good, their path to clarity and awareness and abundance. Once they've achieved that for themselves, you know, that's when I think that energy really starts to shift and the focus becomes more on union and relationship energy, and perhaps dealing with some of those energies in their life, and then obviously you as well. So pile one, I hope that you've enjoyed this reading and that it's been of help to you. If it has, I would so enjoy it if you would decide to subscribe if you haven't. If you're not one of my 52 subscribers as of this video being recorded and uploaded, then please consider subscribing, because every single individual who chooses to kind of hop on the train over here, it helps the channel to grow. It helps me to increase my awareness and my outreach to the collective. People become more aware of me. There's more goodness to be had and to be shared here, I feel, and you guys are able to help be the vehicle that allows me to do that, because of your viewership, because of your engagement, liking, sharing, commenting, all of those good things. It again helps me to become more popular, for me to be seen here on YouTube. So it's a wonderful energy exchange that's totally free. If you are feeling extra generous and have other means to support the channel monetarily speaking, there's also links on how you can do that in the description box below, which include, you know, deck donations or PayPal gifts, but all of that is not even necessary. Booking private readings is actually the best way. It's a great, even sort of energy exchange, because I am getting to give you individualized attention and insights from source into your situation. And then in turn, it obviously helps support me and my family. So that is my preferred, way that you can support me in terms of providing actual monetary abundance, if that calls to you to do so. But if not, just again, even having your presence here today means the world to me. I so hope to see you in a future reading. And until next time, Pile 1, I hope you take great care. Bye-bye. Hey, Pile 2, welcome to your reading. So you guys chose this beautiful piece of chrysocolla today. Hopefully that is focusing for you. It's gorgeous, and it's one of my newer pieces, and I'm absolutely adoring it. We also have for you the Wandering Star Tarot, and we are going to be today looking at your person's headspace. So what are their current thoughts of you? What are they thinking about you and this connection? I live on a busy street. I apologize for any sort of ambient noise, but let's get started. So as I said, we're going to be taking a look at your person's thoughts, what's going on in their mind, whatever spirit wants you to know most about what this person that you are thinking about and have on your mind is thinking about you, about the connection itself. We normally look at the emotional energy, and this is the first that I'm actually taking a look at just the more cerebral energy. So the mental body, what's going on with your person in their headspace. I've done, thoughts and feelings a few times, or incorporated thoughts into feelings readings or into intentions and actions. All of those things are sort of similar energetic, I feel, impressions to thoughts. They kind of all tie in together, but this is the first we're going to just be looking at the headspace of your person, getting some really clear forward insights on what your person is thinking about, again, you, the connection, and anything else that you need to know about that. Before we begin, go ahead and set your intention. Get yourself into receiving mode, that you're open, ready, and willing to receive those insights from Spirit as they are going to present forth to you today about your person. Just always a great kind of standard practice to set your intention before actually engaging in any new activity throughout your day or portion of your day. And as well, go ahead and select a sign if that calls to you to do so. You know the drill. It can be absolutely anything. A name, number, a tarot card, an animal, a place. Anything that is of significance to you that can just help to anchor and validate those messages that come forward for you. It's a lovely way to play with the universe, because when you ask, of course, it is always given. So if you ask directly for a sign for them to communicate with you in a specific way with a specific symbology, they will always respond. You will not only usually see that symbol come out, that sign, in the reading itself, but in other areas of your life as well. So again, it just helps to really affirm those messages, that you can take them in as true. It helps to validate you, your own intuition in some cases, and to really foster that loving, trusting relationship with Source. So I always encourage that with my viewers. Now, pile 2. Pile 2. Pile 1 was very interesting. Pile 2. What is going on in pile 2's person's headspace? What are they thinking about pile 2? We have the High Priestess energy here. The Ten of Cups. Temperance. And the Queen of Cups. These are lovely energies for you, pile 2. This person's thoughts of you are very, very positive, and they're very, I would be flattered if somebody felt this way about me. Clarifying this energy, we have Justice, the Seven of Swords. Well, this is interesting now. The Six of Cups. There we are. And the Queen of Wands. Overall energy underlying the theme of the reading is the Five of Cups. That was the same underlying energy for pile 1. We'll see if there's any other syncs for you guys. So first and foremost, your person's thoughts. I think that you are kind of like a secret for your person. So this could be a very clandestine relationship. This could be one where the person is putting on a good front, wearing masks to sort of not make it clear to you that they're still having these feelings and thoughts about you, that they've moved on in some cases. But it looks like to me, more so than like a moving on or separate energy, it just looks like somebody who's sort of keeping things under wraps, you know. What is that saying? Keep it all close to their chest or under their hat, something to that effect. But with this Seven of Swords energy, clarifying the Ten of Cups, I definitely didn't get any sort of like seediness or maliciousness, or there's nothing sort of disingenuous about this Seven of Swords for me. Not in this case. It actually just felt to me like you're this person's secret happiness, and they don't share fully, or they're not revealing to you just how positively they feel about you. They're sort of keeping that as a secret, keeping it to themselves. The High Priestess energy reinforces this idea, this element of mystery or mysticism. There could be some silence indicated for some of you. It doesn't feel like a full separation, but in some cases it could possibly be. However, for me, and what does this card actually say? It actually says dreams, wisdom, inner voice, spirit worlds, and secrets. Yeah, this element of secrets. This person really keeps a lot to themselves. The High Priestess is very hands-off, as I was saying, very silent energy, clarified by justice. There could be, again, when I reference this element of like clandestine energy, there could be some people here where there's a married partner involved, or somebody who, this could even be like boss-like energy, or the energy of a professional and somebody who has to keep their composure. And so for that exact reason, they really put on airs that they don't feel as deeply as they do, or they don't think about you as often as they do, or as positively and as romantically as they do. But there are really, really beautiful, beautiful energies here. Now, for some of you, for just a few of you, this may be, you may be asking about somebody where it's not a romantic connection. The reason I say this is because we have Temperance here with the High Priestess, which these are very, like, again, hands-off, very pure energies. And we have the Six of Cups, which is, you know, the energy of innocence and naivety and children. So you could be asking about somebody who truly isn't a romantic partner, but for the rest of you, this is somebody who just definitely feels really, really big love. The Queen of Cups and the Queen of Wands, again, most of the storyline is leaning towards this idea that they have a lot of emotion and a lot of feeling and a lot of desire and passion for you, and they just sort of keep it to themselves. So their thoughts are all centered around maintaining the sort of this facade of not revealing, you know, how deeply they feel for you. And for some of you, if you are in disconnect, there's so many energies floating around with this file. A lot of you probably picked file 2. Because there is so much floating around here about, you know, different energies of secrecy, or of possible marriages, or possible, like, I need to stay, this energy of, again, professionalism, needing to keep their composure, stay in a certain energy, one that, so pile 2, that was the weirdest thing. I'm sitting here talking and recording, and the video stopped recording, and just as I was getting ready to get into more cards, after just so much energy coming through for this pile, that's when I realized it had cut off. So what I had been talking about was this element with this justice energy of perhaps either marriages, or some sort of, you know, factors of needing to maintain composure and professionalism. If it's not a marriage, it could be work related, it could be culturally speaking. There's boundaries and barriers and something in place that prevents this person from feeling free in order to come towards you. And that's further reinforced by this Five of Cups energy, this energy of disappointment. There's some sort of need to hold back and stay reserved. But again, you know, this individual feels such, you know, wonderful things for you. They see you as this Queen of Cups and this Queen of Wands. So like this beautiful, passionate, desirous energy combined with this loving, caring, and nurturing sort of very deeply emotional being. And they have a very strong pull to that. Their thoughts often wander to you. You know, you again are their secret happiness. They just, I think so much they want to be able to really make something of this. They see such vast potential, or they think that there could be so much that could happen here and develop into something beautiful. The Temperance energy, all these stars, is beautiful to me. The energy of optimism, of peace. But, you know, even in just looking at that, clarify with the Six of Cups, they have, again, these very strong thoughts about just blending and merging, perhaps letting it all go, letting it free flow. Look at how, okay, the cups represent, of course, emotion, as does the water, and the water is flowing freely between one cup to another. So again, it's just this energy of releasing, of allowing things to flow, of allowing just all of their cards to be laid on the table. But for some reason, this person isn't doing that. Now, with that said, and the camera is still recording, and let's hope that it does. Let's get into a little bit more of this energy for pile 2 and what's going on with this person, their headspace. There was so much happening, so many different energies and storylines and things. I kind of want to hammer this down a little bit. So for pile 2, please, let's get a little bit more information on what is their person feeling, or excuse me, thinking in their mind right now. What is their mind telling them about this connection? What are they thinking about pile 2 and the connection? We have the Page of Wands, the Ace of Wands, the King of Swords. So again, there's so much passion there. There's so much desire to come forward, but this person stays locked in their thoughts. They stay in their mind. You could even be dealing with an air sign, whether it's Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus. This person's very logically minded. And the Three of Wands, I love this Three of Wands in this deck. That's a watcher. That's a lurker, a stalker. Not a stalker in a bad way, of course. It's a representative of somebody who's lurking about, who's watching, who's observing, who's kind of standing, you know, in the background. We did have that Seven of Swords energy about secrets and just doing things on the sly. So this person watches. This person thinks about you a lot. They have such big energy of desire and of attraction and of just this beautiful magnetism. For some of you, this connection has ended, though, with this Ten of Swords energy. The Tower. For thoughts, these are pretty crazy. These really are pretty crazy. So, you know, in their thoughts, they feel it necessary to hang back, to stay reserved. We have the Page of Swords here, which is an energy of defensiveness or sort of resistance, kind of hanging back, clarifying the Three of Wands, which again is that energy of sort of waiting, observing, taking a step back, but looking, being well aware of what's happening and going on. We also have the King of Swords with the Hanged Man energy. This came out in pile 1, and this was a very similar pile to pile 1, in the sense that, you know, this person, while they are taking a step back, if there is this element of like either very cold or distant sort of energy and communication between you, or in some cases complete separation and no energetic or communicative exchange between you in the 3D, this person is thinking a lot about this. And in that separation, in that time away, they're reflecting on many things. The Hanged Man, I have to say that pile 1 was more positive, like the progression of the thoughts and the energy in that person's mental space was a bit different. This person is feeling a little bit more just deeply rooted and stuck and not able to come forward, ruminating and thinking. The King of Swords is just someone who's very cold, very up in their head. But the Hanged Man does indicate that they are having some elements of enlightenment. You know, it's a self-suspension, a surrender to what is, but at the same time gaining a lot of clarity and awareness while doing so. It appears as though this person thinks that giving into their desire that they have, starting a new beginning with you, or starting a beginning with you at all, maybe making good on how they're feeling and what they're feeling guided to do, would create devastation or destruction in either their life or yours. But it looks to be in their, you know, individual circumstances. So they've put an end to that. You know, they're trying very hard to sort of squash their feelings or to douse out this fire I'm hearing, but it's not actually going very well. It's not working. And if things have ended between you, it's showing a very strong desire that they still think about you. Often they still want to come towards you, and they're just not doing that. They're holding themselves back, again, with that Hanged Man and Page of Swords energy. But they're watching, they're observing, they're feeling just as strongly, just as magnetized to you as ever before, and they think about this nonstop. What else? We have the Four of Pentacles. So this is an element of decision making for me. when she's holding both of those pentacles in either of her hands. This is about, should I not? Should I stay? Should I go? The Five of Pentacles. So a lot of fives also coming out for you today. The element of transition or transformation and change. In this case, just feeling shut out, feeling like, you know, that can't be for some reason. So focusing on self, you know, they're very self-focused, and they're kind of, again, with this Four of Cups energy especially, they're trying to shut things down. They're trying to shut their thoughts off. They're trying to shut their passion down. They're trying to dampen this fire that they feel very strongly for you. Their thoughts, though, they can't control their mind, which is why they're getting, you know, why I think they're having such a hard time, especially why they're in this Five of Cups energy. I do think this person's actively trying to distract themselves as well with other things. Yeah. We have the Emperor. So they're really trying to stay practically minded. They're trying to stay grounded and rooted and very deeply in that masculine energy. We also have, though, the Star and the Ace of Cups. So, you know, for some of you, you really need to know that this person does still view you the same. They still have those same thoughts and feelings for you. They still have a slight bit of optimism and hopefulness about this connection, the potential of it, or the ability to have a resurgence. The Ace of Cups, big feelings. This person has just a lot going on for you, and they are hiding all of it. Like, I feel like for some of you, you're not even aware of any of this, either that you thought it was still true or it was ever true. What else? We have the Eight of Wands. We have the Page of Pentacles. The Knight of Swords, so more swords energy coming out. And the Six of Wands, clarifying these energies. We have the Empress. Oh my goodness, do they want to come towards you? They want to communicate with you. This is what they're thinking about quite a bit. They're in the middle of a transformation. There's a lot of change going on in their life right now, and they definitely want to come forward with an offer of sorts. I think that they really think about this quite often. How can I make this work? What can I do? What steps have to be taken to achieve this? But ultimately, I don't think they go for it. The Knight of Swords with the Ten of Pentacles. This feels like a defensive energy. For some of you, they could have, firm foundations in place, either a family or a career or something else that needs to be protected and secured and can't be compromised or risked. Again, with that that Tower energy that came out earlier, they just feel and view this as like, if they were to act, their thoughts are really centered on catastrophizing, what that would have to their situation. But for others of you, they really want to step towards that. They still want that, even though it could prove to be a bit of an issue. Yeah, they want success with you, and they think about this all the time. Oh my goodness, their thoughts are on success, on having victory here. They're very much in this fiery, passionate energy much of the time. Yeah, the Seven of Cups, they're constantly fantasizing about this, constantly thinking about this. And I think, like I said, for the majority of you, the Knight of Swords, let's even get a clarifier. Yeah, they want this with you. Some of them may be defensive, against an already, again, pre-established or already in place sort of foundation that they have. But for others of you, it's what they are wanting with you. They want to create this. They want to have this. Their thoughts are centered around creating change, desiring that change. Let's take a look at what's going to happen with this person in the next few months. They have so much pent-up passion. I can't even, they're holding themselves back with the Ten of Wands. As I say that, the fire is burning behind them, but yet they're still not acting. The Ten of Wands originally, in the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith imagery, depicts someone who's actually going forward. They're feeling overwhelmed and burdened perhaps, and definitely carrying a heavy weight, but they're still pushing forward. In this imagery, the person is actually bound to all of those wands. They can't move forward, and there's even, fire and all sorts of things happening around them, but they're still not moving. However, we have the Fool energy here, which is a wonderful indicator. We have Strength, the Sun, and Judgment. So this could be communication coming in for some of you. This is definitely realizations and awareness, clarity and awakening. The sun with Judgment to me is just all about, again, this light, things coming to light. Strength is clarified by the Ace of Swords and the Seven of Wands. So this could be holding back on communication for now, or holding back on recognizing and I guess acknowledging that truth. However, it's coming in either way. So they can resist it all they like. It's on its way, it's happening. The Sun in Judgment show that that will be taking place. And what is this Fool energy here? The Wheel of Fortune. So things shifting, the karmic wheel, if you will. The Queen of Swords and the Four of Swords. What is this saying here? The Two of Swords. This person is going to be struggling to make any concrete decisions as a result of the clarity, but the importance is that they will be gaining an element of clarity and awareness regarding this connection that they don't yet have. Remember, their current energies are very resistant, very stuck, feeling very much like they don't have the capability to act. They have to hold back. They have to stay very guarded. From the Rose Oracle, I believe this is, the Sacred Union, beloved within, inner and outer relationships. So this is about kind of achieving that internal balance, I feel, before they can manifest anything in the 3D. And then we have the Rose of Venus, alignment, flow, right relationship, and harmony. So eventually I do think that this person, once they get themselves into alignment, may have the potential to really come forward with something concrete and clear. We also have, let's see here, this is from the Cartomancer deck. We have the Queen of Love, which is like the Queen of Cups, and she came out for you earlier as how they see you, how they view you, and what their thoughts are. You know, they think that you're absolutely amazing. They've met no one better. We have Champion. This is a defeatist, so kind of attitude a little bit. We have self-realization. So again, this person's needing to come into alignment with self first. The Sacred Union is one actually within our inner being, our own connection to source. But once that happens, again, from a place of alignment, then go ahead and act. I think that's actually part of what got cut off in the breakup of this reading, was the idea that this person needs to get themselves to a place of alignment to start to feel more secure and at peace, and then they can go ahead and take action. That may have also been a very common message in pile 1. It's hard to remember when I'm done channeling. Champion here. This is a card that, you know, as it would indicate, would be one of success. However, look at how this man is trying to kill this alligator who's attacking him. You know, it just feels like a very defeatist sort of an energy to me, one where someone doesn't feel necessarily the most powerful or able to create change at this time. They definitely feel very stuck, or kind of like, well, I'll be cutting off my nose to spite my face. Sort of that line of logic. This person, again, very, very stuck right now, but there are shifts and changes coming for them. But currently their energy is very as it is. As much as they desire you, as much as they have just such a strong passion and urge to come forward, they put all of this on the back burner and they really quell those desires and that passion and that, you know, that impulse to come forward. Their thoughts of you are constant and they're very positive, and they dream and think about this quite often, but they're just not acting. Willpower. Yeah, this person is borderline stubborn. I think we had the Emperor come out earlier. That's definitely a very stubborn energy, but they are exercising a lot of willpower, a lot of inner strength and fortitude to hold themselves back. We also have tears. So again, it's making this person sad. They're feeling very, very sad, that Five of Cups energy, and not being able to come forward to you. Nurture. They're needing to protect themselves right now. Their thoughts are focused on their own self, but we have Heart Spirit. So again, that love is there, that beautiful energy from within is definitely there for you. It's just a need to act on it, to feel secure enough to step forward. And right now they don't feel that that's safe. So they're definitely resisting This person's deeply in a state of resistance, I'd say at every level. Within their heart space, even though they have all of these big feelings, they're holding them back. They're resisting at sort of a sacral level with all of that passionate sexual energy that they're feeling in some cases, and especially at the cerebral or mental level, which we've looked at today. Their thoughts are very, very much set on staying reserved and holding back. They feel that it's best, and they're just not seeing a way forward yet, but that should be changing in the near future. You know, as I said, they just need to get themselves to a place of inner and outer peace first. Get into that state of alignment from within, and after they achieve that, then they're going to, as it says here, have that alignment that allows the right relationship to flow, that hopefully they can then gain some of the, you know, I guess, strength and resilience and inspiration to act towards this connection in the 3D. So pile 2, I so hope that you've enjoyed this reading and that it's been of help to you. It has been a great honor to serve you in doing this reading today and connecting with you, even though I've had a myriad of technical issues. This was definitely a very interesting pile. But to that point, you know, if you have enjoyed the reading, if it has resonated for you, please consider subscribing to the channel. By doing so, you help my channel to grow. Every subscriber just, you know, increases my outreach in the collective here on YouTube, on the platform. And of course, if you could click that notification bell, it also makes it where you're aware every time that I post so that you never miss my content. You can find your way back to me to check out more videos. I have many playlists available with multiple types of content similar to this, other readings that are love focused, even source related messages and zodiac based readings and all sorts of wonderful things. So if you choose to stay here and connect and share space once again, it of course is such an honor. It means the world to me, and it's such a great energy exchange as well for the free tarot received today. If you would like to and feel guided to support my channel in other ways, there are means to do so. It is all available in the description box below. But as I said in pile 1, my absolute preferred way, if you do choose to go that route, would be to do private readings. I've really set the intention and opened up that desire once again energetically, I feel, to the universe, that I desire to step back into private reading. It's something that I really enjoyed and was very rewarding for me, and I'd love to do it again. So I'd love to read for you privately if that is something that you feel called to do, to look at your individual energies and then in turn receive support from my family. I just think it's the perfect energy exchange, and it is my preferred method, even above just simply donations or deck gifts of decks purchased off of my wish list, anything like that. Private readings are my preferred means of connecting with you if I can. So in the meantime, pile 2, I again hope that you've enjoyed this reading. I hope to see you in a future reading, and I hope that in the meantime you take great care. I gotta cut this off before this video shuts off yet again, and figure out what's going on with my camera. So hope you take great care. Sending you lots of love and abundant energy in the meantime. Bye-bye. Hey, pile 3, welcome to your reading. So you guys chose this beautiful aura-coated quartz and the beautiful Lonely Ice Tarot. So let's intend several things. First of all, set your intention that you are willing and ready to receive the messages from Source that are going to present forth today during this reading, where we're going to be taking a look at your person's headspace regarding the connection. What are their thoughts? What are they thinking about you and about the connection, the current state that it is in, and whatever else we need to know. So let's get that cerebral energy going. But let's also intend here that the camera stays on and functioning, because pile 2 is definitely a crazy pile in more ways than one, and a lot of technical difficulties as well. So let's intend for a smooth, easy reading with beautiful energies, lots of clarity. Go ahead and take this time while I am shuffling to select your sign as well, if you do so before readings. That's just a wonderful way to sort of help anchor and validate messages that you do receive, that you can take them in as true for you. It's a lovely little way to play with the universe as well. You know, ask and it is given. If you ask for a sign, you will receive it. And it's just a lovely way, again, to have that validation and create and instill that loving, trusting relationship with Source. So my son decided to make a little surprise visit down here, and he just wants to say hi in whatever way he feels guided to. What would you like to do? Oh, you don't want to say anything?
Hi.
Okay. All right. All right, and now that he is settled and has had his time to say a proper hello and visit, now let's begin the reading. Hopefully all interruptions have ceased as well. So, pile 3. Pile 2 is crazy. We'll see what pile 3 brings. We are taking a look, as I said, at your person's mental energy. That was a terrible shuffle. We're going to look at your person's mental energy, their cerebral energy towards this connection. In the past, I've done more so feelings. I've done actions and intentions before, with thoughts just sort of thrown in the mix as it relates to those readings. But this is the first time actually doing a specific thoughts reading, which I think is wonderful. Just to get a good idea of where your person is sitting mentally. What is with this deck? To get a good idea of where your person is sitting in their headspace regarding you, the connection, where things currently stand, what are they thinking about all of that. So, pile 3. What is the headspace for pile 3's person that they're thinking of? What is going on in the thoughts for pile 3's person regarding pile 3 and the connection? So we have the Two of Wands. We have the Page of Cups, the Knight of Wands, and the Hermit. The Hermit fell on the floor, and it almost felt like that was energy that was being discarded, or that this person is coming out of. So if you have not heard from your person in quite a while, pile 3, or if they have been a little bit disconnected or closed off, it does appear that they're in the process of making a decision right now on perhaps to come forward, and if so, when and how to do that. This is coming through really clearly already. So we have the Knight of Pentacles for the Two of Wands, the Six of Cups for the Page of Cups, Death for the Knight of Wands, and the Eight of Swords for the Hermit. Again, I think that this person is coming out of that energy, although they still remain a bit resistant. The Seven of Wands is the overall energy that's underlying the theme of the reading. This person, again, is in the process of making a decision here. We have the Two of Wands energy, which is all about choices, options, and, again, coming to the energy of decision or choice. With the Knight of Pentacles, it is a slow-moving energy. This is something that, again, your person is slowly coming out of this period of hermiting, of self-restriction. They are still in resistant energy. This is a very slow and progressive shift out of this state of perhaps indecision or into making a decision to actually choosing to act on it. However, this is definitely something that's on their mind. The Page of Cups with the Six of Cups is about reunion or connecting overall, just at a deep, loving level. Keeping it light, though. I feel the Six of Cups with also the Page, both references to children or childlike innocence, naivety. At the very least, this is an underdeveloped connection that hasn't ever fully gotten off the ground, and they do recognize that and they want that to change. But I do think that any sort of communication or advances that you would see this person make towards you, if in fact they chose to act upon what they're thinking at this point in time, it would likely be a bit lighter, more carefree, and a little bit more innocent in nature. The Knight of Wands, though, this person is feeling really, really big passion towards you. And death, it's almost like there's some type of really big awakening or transition occurring that's prompting this energetic shift, whereby they're coming out of this hermit energy and stepping into this energy of decision making, again, of coming forward, of sort of coming out of the darkness and into the light is what it feels like. Wands energy, of course, relates to fire energy, so that's Leo, Aries, and Sagittarius. But the energy of fire is all about power and magnetism and passion and inspiration, and it's a very separate, distinct energy from the energy of the hermit, which I believe is Virgo, but an energy of self-restriction and solitude and sort of reflection, introspection, being on an inner quest versus coming out into the light and wanting to connect. Let's see what death is about. What is that here? The World. They're coming out of a huge cycle. A huge cycle is closing. A big ending is coming for them. And it's causing them to reconsider a lot of things. Yeah, they definitely are at the end of something and they're wanting to make big changes, big shifts. This is something they're thinking about quite a bit. What are they wanting to change, or what's changing for them? The Seven of Coins, so where they're investing their time. This could also relate to work for some of them. The Nine of Swords, releasing of anxiety, and the Ten of Wands. Yeah, burdens, challenges, obstacles. Again, references also to cycles ending, with tens being the sign of completion in tarot and numerology. And we also have Temperance energy here, which is the energy of rebalancing and coming to a greater state of clarity and peace in their energy. So again, these are transitions that are still in the process of occurring. Their thoughts are still somewhat resistant and hesitant. We, of course, still have the Hermit and the Eight of Swords coming up here, as well as the Seven of Wands. But at least this person is beginning to open themselves up to the idea of possibly acting on this. So how this feels for me, it's a little confusing perhaps for you, pile 3, the viewer, sort of in taking all of this. Let me kind of make it clear. This person is sitting in Hermit energy currently. I do think this is someone you're probably in a state of disconnect with, or haven't heard from, or hear very sparsely, sporadically from. And they are still in this resistant energy. They are still actively holding back. However, as a result of changes and shifts occurring in their life, it seems that they're opening themselves up to the potential and the possibility of taking action. It's sort of like they're seeing a new way forward. They're feeling, they're thinking differently, and they're believing that perhaps they have other options and choices that are viable, that they can really take, one of which is to obviously pursue this connection in a more concrete 3D way. Let's see what else we need to see about pile 3's person. Pile 3, what else is going on for your person in their headspace? We have the Wheel of Fortune again, big divine shifts. The Four of Cups, the Nine of Cups, and the King of Pentacles. So this person has been really self-focused traditionally. They have been very resistant to this connection in the past. Again, very much focused in their independent selves, in their own energy of accomplishment and attainment of their goals. Nines in tarot, of course, are all about independence, introspection, independent solitary energies. We also had, of course, the main number 9 come out, the Hermit energy, earlier for your person. And the King of Pentacles, also a reference to building up their own independent world, being secure and stable in their 3D reality. So it does look, though, as though while this person has been very self-focused, they are shifting into an energy of still, of course, desiring, their dreams to come true, I suppose, to have things a certain way in their life, but in the practically minded sense of how to make that happen now, they are feeling a little bit more inclined to step forward into an energy that allows those things to be possible with regard to this connection. It looks like less focus strictly on the material world and more on other areas of their life, i.e. this connection, and also how to bring that same energy of abundance to this area of their life as well. So let's get some more information for you. What else do we need to know? The Three of Pentacles, the Three of Swords, the Two of Swords, and the Page of Wands. So multiple things coming through here. There's a desire to connect and come together with you, to collaborate with you. There could be other things getting in the way. Now, third party can represent a person. It can represent an energy of an individual circumstance, something in their life that's impacting things. Could be work in some cases, but there's just something tied to also pain for some of them. If they've had heartbreak in the past, or something that has been uncomfortable that they're not wanting to face. This could also be why they've been inclined to sort of hang back and not really take steps forward in this connection. Again, though, this seems to be changing, and they're really beginning to view this connection differently and having this very inspired sort of impulsive desire to act, and they're flowing with those thoughts. They're again getting out of this state of resistant energy. Their thoughts are shifting, their mental clarity and acuity regarding this connection and its possibilities is changing, And I think this is really wonderfully representative of your person really growing and evolving, especially where it relates to the two of you. So let's see, what can we expect in the near future for pile 3's person? We have Judgment, the Moon, so again, clarity, stepping out of confusion, coming into a state of awareness and clarity. The King of Wands, acting on that clarity, and the Page of Swords. The Eight of Wands, communication. Definitely communication coming in for you, pile 3. This person is going to be back in communication or starting up communication with you. Again, after a period of reflection in which they really have the capability to step into this greater sense of awareness regarding the connection. They've had some sort of epiphany, some sort of break in this cloudiness or confused state that they've remained in. Remember, we had that Two of Swords earlier. Now stepping into Two of Swords, and we had the Two of Wands earlier, which is that energy of decision making. And I think the decision is actually going to be stepping into this King of Wands energy and making that decision to connect, to come forward with communication. So this has come through, I should say, very, very well. I've really, really enjoyed when they flow like this. But let's get some oracle cards as well, just to sort of confirm what we're getting here. Headspace energy, yeah, wintering. This person's been very, very closed off with that hermit energy. And wintering and wisdom, to me, combined is hermit energy. So this idea of closing themselves off, but gaining that spiritual wisdom and clarity, that's exactly what this person's been doing. You know, and they've been grounding themselves. The King of Pentacles, they've been trying to come to a place of peace, of balance within their material world, perhaps within themselves. Willpower, so really holding themselves back. And reflection, so as part of that introspective hermiting phase, they've been really taking a look at themselves, reflecting on this connection, how they've acted, what parts of themselves need healing. We have sunshine, you know, so coming out of that wintering, that cold energy, into this beautiful scene of sunshine and warmth, wisdom, stepping into intuition, as we saw the Judgment and the Moon cards coming together to reinforce this idea of coming into clarity and awareness, coming out of that confusion and stepping into intuitive power. We have joy, so again, aligning and grounding themselves, stepping back into joy and happiness, and moving upwards and outwards. How are they doing this? How are they grounding and moving upwards and outwards? By having these boundaries in place, by self-care, it feels like, taking care of themselves and getting vulnerable with themselves as well. As part of self-care, again, they've really been reflecting and sort of introspecting and looking back at how they've handled this connection and the things they could have done differently, what they would like to do differently. I'm telling you, as a result of a transformation, that death energy with that Knight of Wands, they're really having a big shift, a big change in perspective. That's what's prompting that wheel to turn when we saw the Wheel of Fortune, and that energy to move forward into being more conducive to perhaps communication and reconnection from this person. We have the Anointed, answer the call, leadership, empowerment, and soul gifts. Again, this person's stepping into their power. Beautiful. And Sophia, divine plan, wisdom, intelligence within, and destiny. Again, this idea of wisdom and the intelligence within is the intuitive body that this person is stepping into. So they're still going to be mentally focused, it feels, viewing things sort of from a logical perspective, or so they think, but really they're also going to be opening up and stepping more into that intuitive place within themselves that helps to guide them more accurately than the mind, of course, towards what needs to happen for this connection to move forward. We have innocence, psyche, foolishness, and self-realization. This came out for pile 2 as well. So again, that self-realization, self-actualization with the reflection energy, with the hermit energy that came out earlier. We have this foolishness card here, the Seven of Spades. So this is a card that for me makes them, it really highlights their anxiety about moving things forward. This innocence here gives me this, you know, semblance of this person not being real skilled or knowing how to approach this. Remember, as I said, when they step back into things with you, it's going to be pretty lighthearted. with that Six of Cups and Page of Cups energy. It's not definitely going to have any sort of depth to it. This person may not be very skilled at doing that, in fact. And with this Innocence card, it just reinforces, again, the idea that this is very childlike or very underdeveloped, but it can grow from there. Psyche is about, the mind. So again, just kind of getting control through that self-realization over their mind, over their anxiety, over the boundaries they've put in place, and really starting to see things clearly, how they've, again, handled this situation, how they are in a state of resistance, how they need to step out of that resistance, and how they're coming to terms with that and really, getting back into their power of intuition and clarity, and answering the call of their soul is literally what it says. And I also am just drawn to this dog here. I believe this puppy that's in the background or foreground, I should say, of that Innocence card, the idea of loyalty. So this person's been loyal from the beginning. This person does not want to have this connection completely end. And I do think that, as they step back into intuition and gain that clarity and awareness, and the sun comes back out, they have this joy, this alignment of self. This is going to really allow things to shift. That wheel is already turning. I really do think that things are already picking up with regard to this person. It may be a bit more time before you see that communication come in, but I would probably expect that within the next few months if this has resonated for you, pile 3. So pile 3, so hope you've enjoyed this reading and that it's meant, a lot to you in terms of clarity and awareness and gaining a bit of insight into your person and their thoughts. It's been such an honor to connect and share space today. And if you have enjoyed the reading, please consider subscribing. By doing so, you not only are going to be a part of this little lovely family here at Aeipathy, but then you're always going to be having access to my content, to be able to see when I post, find your way back to my page, or my channel, I should say, with all of my playlists that have, readings just like this available to you in very wonderfully organized and categorized groups for your viewership. And if you would like to support the channel in other ways beyond just commenting, sharing, liking, and subscribing, which of course are free energy exchange for this tarot today. If you'd like to support monetarily speaking, my preference is private readings because it's my ability to give back to you as you are donating to the channel your resources and your material abundance. But if you'd also feel guided to submit any sort of PayPal gifts or deck donations, all of it is welcome. There's information about those avenues that you can use to support the channel in the description box below. And until next time, pile 3, I'm sending you so much loving energy. I hope you take great care. Bye-bye.